And more on the climate change camp, which has started to grow near Heathrow Airport to protest against the growth in air travel. Chris Goter is head of environment policy at the Airport Operators Association, which represents the interests of British airports. And he joins me now from central London. Chris, thanks very much for joining us. Is it possible to expand and keep within climate change, a decent climate change region?
Well, we believe it is. Aviation is a relatively small contributor, growing nonetheless, but it is small. And we feel that with the measures we've put in place, with the cleaner aircraft, the newer technology coming on board, with emissions trading, which will mean we'll be paying for emissions reductions across the UK and Europe, we believe that we can be a fully sustainable industry.
And what do you say to the protesters, though, who think that any form of expansion at all is detrimental to the environment?
Well, we have to look at the balance. Aviation contributes billions of pounds to the UK economy. It supports more than 500,000 jobs. It supports millions of jobs worldwide. And we have to remember the balance between environmental impact and the importance of social and economic development.
Got some emails in from some of our viewers. We've got Robert Parker from London who's saying, interesting times. We're supposed to live in a democracy, but when people try and protest and make their voices and voice their concerns, the state comes down in a heavy-handed way. And the protesters are saying that Heathrow Airport is actually trying to use terrorism legislation against their protest.
Well, all that BAA, the owners of Heathrow Airport, have tried to do is prevent people that we know are coming to disrupt people's daily lives and do illegal things at a very difficult time for airports with all the security arrangements we have to have. They've simply tried to stop them coming to the airport. Now, no one is trying to stop a legitimate protest. People are, of course, free to say what they wish, but we are trying to stop people who would otherwise disrupt and be dangerous on the airport.
OK, well, what do you do at the airport to try and make things more environmentally friendly?
Well, we have a number of things in place. We're looking at increasing the number of people who can arrive by public transport, for example. But also, of course, we're looking at doing cleaner planes. We've got targets for some 50% reduction in CO2 from aircraft in the next 20 years, and also a reduction in noise too, of the same magnitude. We're looking at improvements in the way aircraft are routed through the sky so that we can reduce the fuel burn and the waiting times in the sky. We've got a whole host of things on the drawing board that are going to come through in the next 10, 20 years. Plus, I said before, the emissions trading thing, which basically means that we're paying for emissions reductions from, say, a power station or an industrial plant somewhere else in Europe to compensate for the extra emissions that are going into the atmosphere. So that way we can be completely sustainable.
Yeah, 20 years is a long time, though, isn't it? Is there anything you're doing in the short term?
Oh, well, these are ongoing all the time. We've reduced, say, the fuel burn from aircraft by about 75% over the last 40 years. So there's an ongoing process. We're always getting cleaner and quieter. There is more to be done. We don't deny that. But we feel that the protesters are really focusing on the wrong thing coming to Heathrow. There are other parts of the economy that contribute far more in terms of emissions. The technology already exists to make them carbon free, and we feel that's where the focus should be.
Chris, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.